Let's now take a look at the soup and drink category. Soups and drinks are generally bundled together into one category for all restaurants on a platform. The soups are always on the top and the drinks are always on the bottom. First, let me start out by saying that all soups come with fried noodles. For those of you who don't know what fried noodles looks like, here is a picture. Basically, these fried noodles are the same as the crackers you find in American restaurants, except for Chinese soup, you use these fried crackers. Wonton soup. This is probably one of the most popular soup for every Chinese restaurant. The wonton in the soup is the same as the wonton in the appetizer fried wonton, but it's steamed and cooked in a chicken soup. Egg drop soup is also very popular, and it's mainly egg with chicken broth. Let's look at a video for this soup.
This soup is very simple to make. The first thing you'll need is low or no sodium chicken broth, and turn your fire to medium. Half a teaspoon of salt. You can use soy sauce instead of salt if you want to, but in the restaurant we usually don't put in soy sauce. 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, a sprinkle of white pepper, about 1/10 of a teaspoon. Stir the soup. Now let's make the slurry. In a bowl, add in 1 tablespoon of potato starch and 1 tablespoon of water and stir. Add the potato starch slurry in while the soup is still warm and stir the soup immediately. By this time, the soup should thicken once it comes to a boil. Next, add in half a tablespoon of white wine, sake, or sherry wine. Once it comes to a boil, turn off the fire. Next, crack 1 egg and beat it. Beat it until it's a little bit watery or runny, as Michael Jackson would say.
Just beat it. Just beat it. Just beat it. Just beat it.
Now slowly drizzle the egg in clockwise direction. Once you add a little bit of egg, turn on your fire to medium-low. Continue to drizzle the rest of the egg in the same direction. Use a ladle and gently push the soup in a forward motion. Do it several times and you should get these eggy strands. Lastly, add in 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. So that was easy, right? Thank you for watching.
Egg drop wonton soup is basically egg drop soup with a few wontons in it. Some people also call it egg drop wonton mix. Next, we have hot and sour soup. This is a spicy soup, and this is probably best explained through a video.
Hot and sour soup is a very popular soup that is healthy and delicious. It contains a lot of vegetables and some meat, usually pork. So let's get started. Cut the pork into strips. Here I have 2.4 ounce or 68 grams. Add a wee pinch of salt, a wee pinch of garlic powder, a sprinkle of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of water, and mix until the water is absorbed. Add in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and mix until you don't see any cornstarch. Then add in 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil and mix. Let's prepare the vegetables. Soak 4 to 5 wood mushroom ears for about 20 to 30 minutes in water. This is what it looks like when it's soaked. Cut it into strips. Cut celery into 3 parts, then cut the celery into thin strips. Next, cut the carrot into strips as well. This is preserved mustard stems from Sichuan province. It contains mustard stems, chili powder, and salt. Just a handful is enough. You can eat this just as is. Next, cut a firm tofu into strips. Make about 3 to 4 slices sideways. Then cut straight down into strips. Next, cut button mushroom into slices. Now let's make the seasoning mixture. In a cup, add in 1 teaspoon of chicken powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of sugar. Now let's make the slurry. In another cup, add in 3 tablespoons of potato starch and 3 tablespoons of water and mix. In a pot of boiling water, add in the pork. You can also stir fry this. It doesn't necessarily have to be boiled, although boiling it is much healthier. After 20 seconds of cooking the pork, add in the vegetables except for the preserved mustard stems. After about a minute of cooking the vegetables, take out the vegetable and the pork. Add in about a quart and a half or 1.42 liters of chicken stock. Add in the salt, sugar, and chicken powder mixture. Add in 1/3 teaspoon of white pepper. 2/3 teaspoon of chili garlic sauce. Add in 1 teaspoon of dark mushroom flavored soy sauce or regular soy sauce. This is just for color. Add in the potato starch and water mixture and stir the soup. Once it thickens, turn the fire off. Beat 1 egg and spread the egg mixture around. After you add the egg in, turn on the fire to medium. With a ladle, push the soup in a forward motion. Add in 1 teaspoon of sesame oil for added flavor. Now add in the pork, vegetables, and the mustard stems. Lastly, add in a 1/4 cup or 60 ml of vinegar. The vinegar is added last because we want to retain that acidity. If you add it in the beginning, you will lose that acidity through the cooking process. As I mentioned before, that you can stir fry the pork and the vegetable. Just cook the pork first and then add in the vegetable, stir fry for about a minute, then add in the tofu and the hot and sour soup mixture.
Chicken noodle soup is just chicken slices with lo mein noodle in a chicken broth. Chicken rice soup is very similar to chicken noodle soup, except instead of noodle, you have rice. Vegetable soup is basically a variety of fresh vegetable in soup. Generally, the vegetables are broccoli, Chinese vegetable, bean sprout, carrot, mushrooms, sometimes water chestnuts, sometimes baby corn, and sometimes snow peas. House special soup can generally be found in every Chinese restaurant. When you hear the word house special, that means it has chicken, shrimp, pork, and a little bit of vegetable. A few restaurants may even add in beef or ham. If it does include those beef or ham, it will show up in the description pop-up. In this case, there is no description pop-up, so it's just the general ingredients, which are chicken, shrimp, pork, and a little vegetable. Now for any of these soup, you can also add in wontons for an extra charge. Every restaurant charges it differently, but this restaurant for Great Wall charges it 30 cents per piece. On the bottom are all the drinks that a restaurant has. For Great Wall, they're very simple and they only have 2 kinds: bottles of Mountain Dew and bottles of Pepsi. That's it.